Well, thank you, Rabbi Schwartz. Good morning, Shana Tova, everyone. It is, as we've all been saying, so nice to see more and more people coming in here, coming into the Berman Reuben. Thank you, everyone, for joining online this morning. And I'm just going to start by being honest with you, maybe adding on to something Rabbi Schwartz just said in his introduction. There's something that I have never fully understood about Yom Kippur, to be honest. I have always appreciated the meaning of this day, the time to reflect, to look back, to look ahead, to wipe the slate clean of mistakes and errors and judgment, to be introspective and thoughtful, and as we say now, present. And then in the midst of all that, you kind of have to stop what you're doing and listen to some speech from the president of the synagogue. And if I'm being honest, it has always felt somewhat incongruous to me, somewhat of a juxtaposition to what the morning was truly all about. And so I've made it my goal this morning to weave together as best I can the different threads of religion and spirituality and practicality. We talk, as Rabbi said, about Bethel being a 365-day-a-year experience, much more than a 3-day-a-year experience. Through each day of every year, we offer hundreds of classes, lessons, concerts, speakers, celebrations, and our ritual observances and services. In just the last year, we've also meditated together, prepared meals for people who need them, discussed Israeli affairs, toured sites around the globe, operated our mikveh, and tended to each other with caring calls and our caregiver cafe. And during the pandemic, I think more of us than ever joined the morning minyan. And I want to take an even broader look, step back from that even a bit, and say that it is in every year of your life experience. Imagine that you begin that journey here as an infant or toddler. You attend preschool either downtown Baltimore or Pikesville as part of the Pauline Mash School for early childhood education, then our Berman Lipovsky Religious School. You become a bar or bat mitzvah. You continue on with Akshav and you get your first taste of life in Israel. Maybe you become engaged and stand here on the bima for your Ufruf, and you come back for your wedding. And then your own child's baby naming. You'll see your children and maybe even your grandchildren sign up for the infant and toddler program, and the cycle repeats itself. How many times have I heard people say things like, Rabbi Agus married my parents, and I was married here, and my children are at religious school here. And I don't think that that's a Pikesville thing or a Baltimore thing. I think it's, in fact, a very Jewish thing, that we feel it in our hearts, a tradition continuing from one generation to another. My favorite moment in a bar bat mitzvah ceremony here at Bethel is towards the end when Cantor sings L'Dor Vador, L'Dor Vador, and he finds the grandparents and the parents and the siblings and the young cousins in the audience. L'Dor Vador. And Bethel is, of course, a refuge. At one of the first board meetings that I attended here, Rabbi Schwartz gave the Devar Torah, and he admitted that it had been a tough week here. During the week that had just passed, he told us the congregation had lost more than one of those people who you just associate with Bethel. You know, the people that you see here all the time. The people without whom Shabbat services don't feel the same. And he said in his speech that one of the members of the families that had lost someone came up to him, and this person said, Rabbi, I felt the support of the synagogue, and it has really helped. And he told us that was our job as board members, that we may not feel it in every small thing we do, at every meeting or in every discussion of mundane things, but that we are making sure those walls are here and that they're strong when people need to lean on them. We have a lot to be proud of here at Bethel. We believe in our hearts that we have one of the strongest, if not the strongest, largest and fastest growing synagogues in the country. There's no way to measure these things, but I do know this with certainty. We have the most talented team of clergy and the strongest professional staff of any conservative synagogue in the country, and I would be glad to defend that to anyone who wants to challenge it. So many jewels to be proud of. Our groundbreaking Soul Center, the Alvin and Lois Lapidus Center for Healing and Spirituality, our adult education program, the Rabbi Mark G. Loeb Center for Lifelong Learning. We have the vibrancy and dedication and passion of our members and new families joining, education that we provide for people at any age. Throughout the pandemic, we showed our strength in ways we could not have foreseen. We learned what it means to be better together, even if together means something entirely new. We are producing and streaming our services thanks to an amazing gift from congregants who saw that need and stepped up. And the same is true for our website, which we're going to update along with our branding and our overall online presence so that we can and will reach members, whether they live on Wood Valley or in Hunt Valley or in the Hudson Valley or the San Fernando Valley. Because one of the things that the pandemic has taught us is that we have the ability to connect and serve people regardless of where they are physically. That's an exciting step forward, and it's a challenging one. It's a way for us to broaden our thinking, but Bethel has always been at the forefront, a leader, an inclusive and welcoming community, and we'll call on those instincts very heavily as we work our way out of the pandemic. Which does bring me to the practical side of things. Every year at this time, we begin our annual appeal, and a reminder that the dues that we pay represent roughly half of the revenue that the shul counts on to meet its needs. Preschool and infant toddler care, another 20%, and various other streams, about another 20%. We rely on contributions to our annual appeal every year to cover the roughly remaining 10 to 12%. As I don't need to tell you, COVID hurt several income streams, including events that would be held here, tuition for education that we could not hold safely inside, and fees from other occasions that we also couldn't have. And in the meantime, our programming increased. Our virtual offerings seemed endless. Many classes continued here or virtually. Our clergy was always accessible, truly there for us, and our staff puts in extra time and extra energy every day. Our annual appeal on last year's COVID relief fund is what allowed us to keep all our staff in place so that we could continue to serve our members' needs in person and virtually. And it allowed us to tell congregants who were struggling financially that we are here for them and they remain full members of our congregation. It allowed us to support the families who weren't sure how they were going to pay for tuition. And the work is ongoing. The need to maintain not only those metaphorical walls, but the walls, the roof, the lighting, the parking lot, the playgrounds, the air conditioners, the ventilation, the classrooms, the cleaning, things we don't think about, but that do require ongoing maintenance and improvements. And beyond that, we are visioning and thinking every day about what we need to do to ensure that what we love about Bethel endures, and that it continues to serve future generations as they will want and expect and need to be served. I'm proud to tell you this morning that every board member, officer, and member of the clergy has made a gift to the annual appeal already, and many of you have also pledged your contribution already, and we thank you. It's a little bit different this year because of open seating. Your pledge cards have been mailed out to you. And I ask you to please make a gift to the annual appeal that you can be comfortable with and proud of, and know that it will help ensure that Bethel is the home we know it can be for our children and our grandchildren. If you've misplaced your card or it has not arrived, call the main office here. Sorry, Yvonne. I hope that as the service continues, you think also of ways that you want to more deeply establish your connection here by taking or teaching a class, coming to services more often, sharing your expertise with a committee, singing in the choir, finding a way to help people who need your help. And I'll be honest with you again, I'm not one of those people who can trace back generations here at Bethel. I'm a relatively new member. I'm here because Elise and I had family and friends who were members. I'm here because we got to know it even more when Elise's mom, Adrienne Alva-Shalom, worked here in the building for many years. I'm here because I got to know and respect our clergy. And I'm here because there came a time when, surprising even to me, I needed to lean on those walls. Since then, it's been a joy, a great gift to Elise and me and our family, Emma and Ethan. We're beyond excited and we're very proud. I thank you for listening to me this morning, and I now return you to your regularly scheduled programming. Thank you. Shana Tova.